Hello everyone, welcome to the world famous Arch City Comics. I am your host, Adam as Fuck. If you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribed and you've got that bell rung for notifications so you can stay up to date on all things Arch City. Also, please check out Blood Hunt, story and art by my man Simon Potier, co-written by me. It is a 64-page action-packed supernatural horror fantasy graphic novel that you do not want to miss out on. We are getting really close to our next stretch goal, which unlocks another 10 pages of action. And when I say this is an action-packed story, it is action from front cover to back. So please check it out today. So my story today, I found this article online about this from the Hollywood Reporter, and it's about Toy Story 4, which I love the Toy Story franchise. I grew up with it. It has always been a favorite of mine. So this really stuck out to me when I seen this headline. It is the whiteness of Toy Story 4. This is written by a white SJW by the name of Stephen Galloway. And how do I know he's a white SJW? Well, because he says so in this article. So reading here, it says, it's not just near absence of people of color in the Pixar film that's bothersome. It's the absence of anything approximating life in America as most know it. Now, what the fuck is this guy talking about? This is a goddamn kids movie. This is a story made for children. I don't understand why these SJWs insist on trying to bring children down. And it's not just about the diversity of the film. He goes into complaining about how it's all about the upper class and this and that. And it's just a whole bunch of bogus bullshit. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing. This first little paragraph here, he does commend the film for a number of things. He says here, the picture, which seems a lock for Best Animated Feature at this Sunday's Golden Globes, and probably the Oscars too, left me in awe. So why did a slightly bitter taste linger? A sense that something was naggingly wrong. I don't know, probably because you're fucking sick, dude. He goes on to say, because in many ways TS4's worldview seems like an Eisenhower-era fantasy. A vision of America that might have come from the most die-hard reactionary. Lovely if you're wealthy and white, but alarming if you're black or brown or gay or a member of any other minority. In other words, more than half of the U.S. population. True, there are a few characters of color, including two supporting players voiced by Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele, but each of the leads is Caucasian, and not just the franchise regulars, but a host of new ones, including a very white Fork, played by Tony Hale, that's among the more memorable and merchandisable creations of this fourth iteration in the series. Have you ever seen a brown spork? Or a black spork, for that matter? It's a fucking spork that they dug out of the trash can. It's white by nature. I promised myself I wouldn't get too upset over this, but this makes me so damn triggered. So it goes on to say that TS4's main family lives in a big, brightly lit house in an ivory utopia. Its daughter sleeps in a plush room packed with a U.S. Treasury's worth of gizmos. They drive around in gas-guzzling RV, stopping at carnivals and carnies that would be right at home in the 1940s or 50s. Problems of prejudice, money, and unemployment never seem to cross anyone's mind. It's a fucking kids movie. Why would you want to try to burden a child with any of the bullshit of the real world? Yeah, real life sucks, man. It's pretty awful out there. But why would you want to put that on a child who's just trying to enjoy a movie about toys coming to life? It's a fantasy. The whole movie is a fantasy. That's the point of it all. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but Bonnie and her family, the lead family in this movie, they're brown. So are you saying that brown people can't be wealthy and enjoy a nice life? And also, if you remember from Toy Story 3, most of the toys that Bonnie has were throwaways that she got from the daycare that her mom works at. So I don't understand how upper class this guy really thinks this family is, because most of her toys are mismatched hand-me-downs that she got from somebody else. Moving on, though. He says, this is a vision of suburbia right out of George Clooney's Suburbicon, based on real Levittown, where a black family's arrival in 1957 led to waves of violence, and it's set here and now. Not only is it unconnected to reality, it conveys the idea this is what reality should be. No, it doesn't, man. You are projecting your own problems onto this movie, is what you are doing here. That's all you're doing. This whole article should have started off with, this is an op-ed piece. It's an opinionated editorial. He has got to be the only person that actually thinks this. Because I watched this movie. I enjoyed this movie. It wasn't my favorite of the Toy Story films, but it was good. It was entertaining. My kid loves the movie. He loves the toys coming to life. You know, like I said, that's any kid's dream. So this guy goes on to say, I'd have expected no less in the days when John Lasseter was running Pixar, with his rearguard view of an idealized past that was only ideal if you weren't black or Hispanic or poor. He took a leave of absence in 2017 and officially left Disney's Pixar at the end of 2018, but shares story credit on the finished film. Still, did nobody in the post-Lasseter era, either at Pixar or its parent company, the Walt Disney Co., pipe up and say, hey, this has got to change? How are you going to change the movie on the fourth film? You've already got your mainstay characters that were established in 1995. Are you going to shoehorn in and make Woody and Buzz a gay couple now? Would that be better for you? Huh? Would that check off more boxes and make your little life a little happier? He goes on to say, Pixar has often repeated outmoded tropes with no visible awareness of doing so, and only occasionally has it gone the other way, as with 2017's Coco. Take 2006 Cars. Its humor was based on all sorts of foreign stereotypes, inadvertently encouraging the anti-immigrant prejudice that's now running rampant through the country. You are talking about kids' movies. These are for the children. Who gives a damn? The kids don't care. Now, Coco was a great movie. It was, it had a lot of Hispanic lore and was based around Dia de los Muertos. There was a great film for everybody. It didn't matter that the lead character was brown, Hispanic. Didn't matter at all. They just made a good movie. Cars, you were looking way too far into that, man. You're seeing stuff that it's there, but it's not there for a reason. It's there because it just fits the characters. I'm assuming he's talking about the Mexican car character, being a lowrider played by Cheech Marin. And there was a couple other things in there I guess you could take away. But he's projecting all of his own inner problems, his inner SJW problems on these movies. Like he goes on to say, nor did previous Toy Story films do much to advance the times. The original 1995 release was dominated by a white male cast with Annie Potts and Laurie Metcalf as the only lead women. Toy Story 2, 1999, increased its female quotient but still had all white leads, and Whoopi Goldberg as the Octopus Stretch was the only notable person of color in 2010's Toy Story 3. Man, you're going back and you're basically going back to before you crazy SJWs had a say in anything. You want to remake Toy Story now and change it to an all-black cast? Would that make you feel better? You got to remember, and he said it here, Pixar's parent company is Disney, one of the most woke companies out there right now. I think they've got enough woke shit on their shelves that they can let Toy Story slide a little bit. At least that's That's my opinion on this, anyhow. He says, if you're white and middle class, as I am, if you drive a nice car and have a safe job, all this may seem moot. But if you're the 5-year-old African American girl, a friend of what? See, he is totally projecting right here. But if you're the 5-year-old African American girl a friend of mine recently adopted, I was about to give her Toy Story 4, but I've changed my mind because it sends the worst sort of message for a child like her. You're an outsider, kept at a distance from everything fuzzy and fun in American life. I think this dude's a closet racist, is what I think. Because that's absolutely ridiculous. African American girls can't enjoy a movie because it's got white people in it now? Is that what we've come to? That you can only enjoy movies that have leads of your own race? Because that's utterly fucking ridiculous. That's utterly ridiculous. I cannot believe the insanity of these SJWs. That they have to project all of their issues on kids' movies like this. I mean, he says it himself. He's a white man, middle class. That's usually what these SJWs are. They're usually white people of privilege who have nothing better to do with their time than pretend like they're down to earth and they get it. You know, they're woke. You know, you got to get that level of wokeness, everybody. You best be woke. This is definitely a story I would have saved for the Saturday weekend woke-up call because it fits right in with the shit that we make fun of. But I couldn't wait that long. It blew my mind to read this article from The Hollywood Reporter. And it seems so fitting after seeing the clip of Ricky Gervais just slam dunk the woke Hollywood actors and actresses at the Golden Globes last night. Though this article was written on the 3rd, so it came out a couple days ago. So unfortunately, he wrote this before Ricky Gervais essentially dunked on the entire industry, which was absolutely beautiful. We need more people like him out there. In every medium. There needs to be just clones of Ricky Gervais just going off on people and speaking his mind. Because he knows what's up. He's British. He doesn't hold his tongue. And they've got their own shit to deal with over there. That's a whole nother can of worms. But I digress. That was basically it. I had to get this off of my chest. It's been bothering me all day long. I've been stewing over this stupid article. So thank you for listening to my rant. Like I said, back Blood Hunt if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed. Ring that bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you think I did piss poorly on this. I don't care either way. Sound off in the comments. I'll see you all next time.